Okay, hello. I'm recording this video and the angle may look a little bit funny because I like to make sure you can see the picture later on, so you might not see much of my face afterwards. Okay, I'm recording this video to help eliminate some of the frustrations that children may have when they start to tackle fractions word problem. Okay, so I'm going to address some of the areas of common misconceptions and areas that children may find very tricky. Once you tackle these and really understand the concepts behind them, the fractions word problems will become much easier. Okay, now the first point to take note is that very often when children start with fractions, they may start with the cake picture. So it's about the cake that's being cut into thirds. All right. Okay, so you can see the picture. There you go. So they may start off with something like that. The cake with the fractions. All right. And then if I shade it to make sure it's a little bit more visible, so that's what we call 1/3. Okay, one part out of there are 3 parts in total. So this is usually quite intuitive. It's easy for children to understand. And then when they move on to a word problem, one important point to note is understanding how we draw this. So instead of drawing as a cake, when you're doing a math word problem, now you need to represent this idea, for example, by making this a model. Okay, so this time we have 3 parts. Okay, usually we're talking about 1 part out of 3. One suggestion I like to make is to actually have, for example, the 3 parts, to actually draw them as 3 parts like this. Alright, so these 3 parts make one whole. So we have the cake just now, 3 parts, okay, make one whole, 3 like that. If children start out 1 and then they draw 3 lines, typically a lot of them start to think about 3 and they draw 3, guess what happens? They'll find that they end up with, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is of course not the right fraction, so that's not the one. Okay, so we want to have 3 parts, 1, 2, 3. So this is 1 out of 3, and these are different units now. Usually when you start to do the word problems, these are called units. So this is 1 unit, second unit 3. So this is how you have 1 out of 3. Okay, that's a bit that's quite challenging for a lot of children. So once you move on to fractions word problem, let's say if you're talking about a scenario where you have the same cake, remember? Okay, so we've got 1/3 of a cake. Let's say we're talking about, okay, 1/3 of a cake. Each third of the cake has, let's say, 3 cherries. All right, 3 cherries. 1, 2, 3 on each one, so you can see the 3. I'll shade them a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. 3 cherries. Okay, and then another third also has 3. 1, 2, 3. If you like, you can actually draw along on your pause the video and actually draw your own diagrams. Okay, so we're talking about now if in terms of the fractions, the model, now you end up having again, see, I've got 3 units, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what you're saying now is that this 3 has, this one has got, represents, it's got 3 cherries on it. Okay, so this 3 here is a number. It's a number of cherries, 1, 2, 3. Here we're talking about the units. So this is 1 unit. 1 unit. Okay, it doesn't mean 1 cherry. So very important for children to understand that there could be 2 different types of numbers involved. Some numbers are there to tell you how many objects are there. 3 cherries, or there are 3 cream puffs, or there are 3 whatever, 3 boys, and so forth. Some of the numbers are there to tell you how many units there are. Okay, so again, if I try to illustrate with some more tangible, visible blocks. Okay, so this is what they will look like if I'm using colors rather than drawing, just black and white rectangular models on paper. So we can see that you can see 1, 2, 3 different units, right? So when we're talking about this, so this is 1/3. If the word problem has something about 1/3, 1/3, this is how we draw it, okay? But the number here, they may say that, okay, on each 1/3 of the cake, there are 3 cherries. So the number involved is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so understanding the difference between the numbers involved and the number of units. So there are 3 units here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it doesn't mean there are only 3 cherries on the entire cake. No, each unit would have 3. In this case, it's represented by 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3 here, and another 1, 2, 3, and another 1, 2, 3. So that's one very important concept. Right, so when you go through the word problem, make sure you understand what the question is about, what the numbers are referring to. That would be a big help. Okay, thank you.